Hi, I'm Louis Jones, an application specialist with Mimaki USA. I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks I use when getting a design file ready to print and cut on the UCJV series using RasterLink tools. So I use the UCJV for a lot of vinyl applications to be applied to different surfaces like stickers, wallpaper. I'm going to be focusing on stickers for this file, particularly a sticker with multiple cut lines. Primarily, the RasterLink tools are used to make design techniques that you can use in Illustrator and making it simpler for RasterLink users and more accessible for RasterLink. The first tool I'm going to get into is the simplest tool. It just makes objects into cut lines. Any vectorized object that you select, it will turn that into a cut line when selected. You see, I am creating my own cut layer. I'm putting an object that is a copy and pasted border object from the sticker that I'm using, and I am clicking the button to create a cut line. The second tool I'm going to show you is one that I use for making secondary cuts. It transforms an object into a cut line. It uses the frame of multiple objects that are selected. So if you select an entire image, it will take the frame of that, depending on the offset that you select, and create a cut line based off of that. You see, I'm selecting the entire image. It's just choosing the outline of that, and I've chosen a 0.3 offset, and it's creating a full border around the cut line. This will give me a clean application with a white border around the sticker, so it'll be easier for me to know what can and cannot peel. I will choose those pressure settings on the actual printer, but it's good right now to differentiate the color between the different cuts. And here I'm making a second sticker that'll go next to my first sticker. I'm using the second tool that I showed you to make a cut line around the border of the actual image. I selected everything and using the tool to create a new cut line. Moving on to the next tool. This tool is primarily used for image trace. Anyone familiar with Illustrator knows the image trace tool. It takes rasterized images or flat images and turns them into vector art. Vector art are any objects that can be manipulated through the point system inside of Illustrator. This is handy for taking JPEGs of logos or different images and turning them into vectorized images and making them print ready. If you take a JPEG and use this tool, it will simplify it. It will make it easier to read for the printers. I also use it in situations like this where I want to manipulate a JPEG image into something else. I, in this case, want to turn the dial on this fuel gauge from the middle to closer to full. Inside this tool, you can choose the different settings of how it reads the JPEG image and what it chooses to make a vectorized image and what it chooses to leave behind. You can also choose to keep the colors from the original image or just use black and white objects in the vectorized image that it creates. This other tool that I'm going to show you, I primarily use this tool to show the different paths that I have on my page and make sure there's nothing on here that shouldn't be on here. A lot of the problems people have when cutting on our devices or any plotter is double cutting, maybe reading That's when whatever plotter you're using is trying to read your crop marks and trying to read your cut lines. It might notice some lines that you may have forgotten. So the results of this is you will see double cutting. It will cut once and then immediately cut again. This effect is caused by various different things. It can be caused by too many clipping masks in your artwork. It can be caused by way too many layers, way too many objects. So to limit the amount of unnecessary objects or lines in my artwork, I use this tool to show me everything that's on there. You see, I select the entire artwork. I press the RasterLink tool button and it highlights and it turns everything on the image into a line form. This is showing me that I do have a star objects probably left over from when I was creating this artwork. It's buried behind a lot of different objects. So now I can go in and delete whatever is not supposed to be there. All right, here, now that I have my file pretty much ready, I'm going to save it. I'll use the RasterLink Save tool. This tool is used to save all your files, compress it directly to your hot folder. Your hot folder is made anytime you add a printer to your RasterLink. And using this tool, you can send files directly to it. So instead of saving multiple layers as different EPSs in a separate file on a computer that can eventually slow down your computer, you can run out of memory, run out of space, you can just save your print files directly to RasterLink and then just save one working file to your computer. It also helps package files for RasterLink. I found that files that I save using this tool are more easily recognizable by RasterLink. I run into less problems. I run into less issues with double cutting. Also, when you're saving on an EPS, sometimes you end up with two files if you are using save artboard. That is something you should be using anytime that you save out an EPS when you're working on files with RasterLink. This automatically saves out your artboard without giving you that second file. So that also saves up space. Once this is sent to RasterLink using the Save tool, you can adjust the pressure settings between your different cuts in RasterLink or on the printer itself using the Tools section. And then you are ready to print and cut.